had forgotten what we had said was coming next, but I've been so excited to share with you this little foot focused class that's what you're getting today, is a foot focused class. Okay, off we go then. So we're going to start just laying down on the floor with your ball. So ball would be great. A roller would be great, and an elastic TheraBand. And I would say going for a little bit more tension on the TheraBand would be good. So a TheraBand with a little more weight to it would be good today. So I'm gonna just start laying down on my back, ball between the knees. So I always like to start with a little finding yourself position, feeling where you are. You're gonna just take a breath in and then exhale. Let yourself just fall into the floor for a minute and just be. Another breath in and then exhale. Great. And one more time, breath in and then exhale. Great. And then from here, you're going to go ahead and squeeze in on the ball. So pelvis stays still. Make sure that you're not tucking the tail. You're just going to squeeze and release, squeeze and release. So still feeling that pressure on the tailbone, and release, squeeze and release, squeeze and release, and squeeze and release. And then you're going to squeeze in and hold. One knee is going to open out. So my left leg's going to stay still. My right leg's going to open and close against the ball. So just a little open and press back, a little open and press back. So still pelvis totally steady. Why the focus on the inner thigh is really to start waking up that inner line, which attaches or connects right to the arch of the foot. So I always like to wake up the whole inner leg line when I'm starting to think about working on feet. So that's why I like to start right here. And then hold. You're going to open the other leg out and push it back. The right leg is now staying still. My left knee is opening and pushing back. Good. So we're just waking up in a different way. One side's isometric holding, the other side is actively contracting. And press, and press, and press, and press and hold. Both sides holding. Now we're going to pulse in with both. Again, pelvis is still. So pulsing in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Keep a little pressure on that ball. We're going to go ahead, warm up our spine a little. So exhaling, stomach's dropping down for coccyx curl. I'm going to just hollow that belly, pull it in as far as it'll go, and then add a little bit of glute to get that tail to curl, and then rolling back to neutral. So exhale, belly sinking, little pressure on that ball. And then inhale back down. And exhaling, hollowing. Inhaling, reversing, and exhaling, hollowing. Great. All driving from my center, inhaling back down. Great. I'm going to just bring my feet in a little closer, and you can, if you like, keep a little pressure on the ball. We're going to go right up into that bridge, just holding there. And while you're there, pulling out the shoulder blades, making sure that you're on your upper back and not on your neck. Right. And then I'm going to also lift up my toes and spread them all out, and then set them back on the floor. Paying attention to where the arches of my feet are and where my ankles are. So making sure that my inner heel is down, outer heel is down, toes are spread. I'm going to keep that nice wide base I've created and pulse up, squeezing up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So hold here again for a second. Make sure that your inner heel line and your inner knee are in the same line, not the knees wider because the ball's there. So enough pressure on that ball that inner heel and your inner knee are in the same line. Then your big toe in the same line with that. And then we're going to roll our way back down. Great. And then exhaling, rolling back up, finding that same position, right? I've got the inner heel down, the big toe down, stomach's tight. I'm going to do a little squeeze, this time just holding there. And then I'm going to try, without wobbling, shifting, try and lift one leg up, keeping that nice wide foot, keeping the pressure on the inner side. I should be feeling inner thigh, ball and big toe and inner heel. And then I'm going to bring that foot down. Try making sure that you didn't wobble the pelvis. Spread out that foot, place it really nicely on the floor. Let's try the other side. Good. And then back down. We'll do it each again, one more time on each side. Spread out the foot, connect inner heel, big toe arches lifted, inner knee, and back down, holding strong, setting up that foot properly, and then up and back down. Great. And then you're going to roll back down through your spine. Nice job. From here, we'll just warm up the abs a little bit more, taking the legs to tabletop. You're going to keep that stomach in, and we'll just predict the load, but this time take the ball between your ankles, holding there. Stomach's going to hold tight. Knees are going to stay in line with those feet. I'm going to inhale towards me and exhale away. Right. Inhale towards me. Try and keep the shins parallel with the floor. That's going to make it a little more challenging. Your back's going to have to stay in its neutral position, so not arching more. So just limit your leg motion with how far you can go without your back arching up. And that's going to be super individual. So finding what works for you, where you feel challenged in your abs, great. But not that you're losing that control. Great. Exhaling out, inhaling, exhaling, and inhaling, exhaling, and inhaling, and exhaling, inhaling. Nice. Take your hands, place them behind your thighs. You're going to exhale. I'm going to keep my elbows bent a little bit in the same angle. Stomach's going to drop. My legs are going to shoot up to the sky. Exhale here. Inhale, bending back in. So exhale, don't be afraid to put some pressure on those hands so it helps you drop that belly down as those legs move up. Inhaling. Exhaling. Belly drops, legs extend. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. One more time. You're going to hold the legs up there. Exhaling. Good. Stomach's dropping. Try, if you can, release the hands and keep the legs there. Great. If your hamstrings are tight, you're going to keep those hands there. Right here, you're going to look at your feet. You're going to turn out and turn back to parallel. Rolling from your hips now and back to parallel. Good. Working those hips open and back to parallel. Rolling open and parallel. Good. Keep an eye on your whole leg, making sure that leg stays taut and parallel. Great. Open and parallel. Two more. Open and parallel. And last one. Open and parallel. Nicely done. You're going to bend the knees. Let's take the hands behind your neck. So this is really optional, this upper body part. So you can decide if it's okay for your body. Squeeze that neck. You're going to stretch it long. Exhale, ribs drop. So I float that head up. If that's fine and you want to continue, you can. You can either hold any of those three positions, down, floated, or up. We're going to send the legs out and bring them back in. I'm going to really stretch the back of my neck out. Legs extend, coming back in. Exhale, stretch. Inhale, back in. Keep that pressure on the ball. Exhale, stretch. We're going to add a turnout and come back to parallel on the way in. Exhale, stretch and turn out. Inhale, back in. Exhale, stretch and turn out. Inhale, back in. Exhale, stretch and turn out. Parallel on your way back in. Nice job. Holding there, you're going to take your legs straight up to the sky. Here, again, your choice this time on parallel or turn out, whatever you feel more controlled. You're going to exhale, lowering that head down, pointing those toes, stretching through the legs. Inhale up. Exhale. Don't let that back arch, so limit that motion. Stretch the neck, stretch the toes. Inhale up. Exhaling. Inhale up. Exhale, stretch. Inhale up. Exhale, stretch. Inhale up. And exhale, stretch. And inhale up. Nicely done. Go ahead and bend the knees and you can lower your chest down if it was up. Yeah, we're going to remove the ball for a minute and instead pull in the roller here. So I'm going to bring the roller in underneath my feet. And this is just a nice little footwork on the roller here. I want to concentrate on what my feet are actually doing here. I don't have a lot of weight. I've just got my tippy toes down on the roller. I'm going to put enough weight onto that roller so that I can roll out my legs. I'm going to flex my feet at the end of that motion. And then I'm going to bend, pressing into the floor a little bit, coming right back to my tippy toes nice and pointed. So here I go, out, flex, and bring it back in, point. And out, flex, and in, point. Really working through those feet to get the flex at the length and the point to the tippy toes. And out, flex, in, point, out, flex, in, point, out, flex, and in, point. Nice. We can take that into a little turned out. So I'm going to keep my tippy toes, let my knees fall open, out, flex. I'm going to be apart on my feet now. In, point to those tippy toes, out, flex, in, point, out, flex, in, point, out, flex, in, point, out, flex, and in, point. Nice. We're turning back to parallel. You're going to take your left foot, leave it pointed on there, right leg to tabletop. I'm going to go out, flex both feet, in, point both feet. This one bends back to tabletop. Out, flex, in, point. So you can take advantage of stretching that hamstring. Out, flex. If you need help with that, you can help it with your hands. Out, flex, stretch, in, point, lift, out, flex, in, point, oops, and out, flex, and in, point. Nice. Let's switch sides. Leg in tabletop. Ready? Exhale, out, flex, in, point, out, flex, in, point, out, stretch that hamstring. Yes, in, point, out, flex, in, point, and out, flex, in. We have one last, and out, flex, in, and point it down. Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and take that roller underneath your legs. You're going to exhale, hollow the belly, and press your way up to your bridge so you can pull that roller in underneath you. Have your TheraBand right near you. We're going to need that in just a moment. I'm going to walk my heels in because I love this. Always opening up the quads here. Stomach's going to drop downward, and I'm going to just scoop my tail. So creating some length across my quads. If you're not feeling enough, you can walk those feet in even more. Get a nice curl and just trying to get some length using those glutes to press the hips open. Be careful that the knees don't go flying away. And then you're going to check out what your feet are doing. Nice spread out toes, right? And heels down inside of your heel, big toe, and knees all in a line. Great. Holding that for a stretch and release. We'll do it again. Exhale, curling, holding for that stretch, pressing into those glutes, really trying to open up the front of your thighs. And then releasing. Great. So here we're going to go ahead and float your legs up to tabletop. And I'm going to have you grab your TheraBand and place it over your feet. And you want to try and capture your toes in there too. I know sometimes the bands roll around, slip around, but I'm going to try and put it over my toes with a little space between my feet, my heels together in my little turnout. And I'm going to take the band and cross it in front. And then you can either just hold on to it or wrap it around your hands one time, whatever feels most comfortable to you. And then you'll bend back into your frog, elbows down by your side. So I'm going to relax that whole upper body. I'm going to, on purpose, put some pressure outward into that turnout with my feet. So Knees and feet in the same line. Exhale, I'm going to press, keep that turn out as I press. I'm going to point into the band and flex my way back in. If you notice you need a little more band over your toes, you're welcome to adjust. And then you're going to press, point, and in, flex. Keep that little V. So you're going to really work through the feet and ankles to keep that V position. Press, point, and in. You can do this also without the roller. So if it feels like the roller is annoying you, you're welcome to remove it. It's just to help have a little more stability. So using the roller or the wedge underneath the hips usually helps that. So that's why the roller's there. But for some people, it's really annoying. So you can do it without. Turn and in and press. Good. So here I'm going to have you bring the legs up so that you can see your feet right up above you. You can decide how much tension you want. I like to work really hard, so I'm going to pull a little more tension on those feet. Here, I'm going to have you first just turning outward from your hips. So you're going to turn out from your hips, let your feet follow, and then go back to parallel. Turning out, back to parallel. So everything's rotating. I see my knees rotate. I have my heels tight together. My hips are rotating. My feet are following, right? Everything happening together. Rotation open and parallel. Rotation open and parallel. I hope you guys are already feeling this because I am. And parallel. Rotation open and parallel. And rotation open. Good. If you have a lot of tension, I would suggest loosening a little bit of that tension. We're going to press the band open, down and around. Open, down with your legs, together at the bottom and around. Open, down, together and up. Open, down. Keep that turn out for now. And up. Open, down, together, up. And open, down. Together. We're going to reverse the direction. Down, open, together, and down, open, coming around together, down, still in that turnout, heels together, down, open, together, one more, down, open, and together. Great. Let the feet go parallel again. Here, I'm going to have you keep the knees pointed straight, your hips pointed straight. You're going to windshield wiper your feet, but not your knees or your hips this time. So it's only my feet rolling open. So it's going to be a smaller motion, and it's happening in my ankle and in my lower leg. Great. Hold those knees steady. Oof, my knees really want to play. Good. So just rotating those feet open and back, open and back, open. Just the feet. And open. So we've done a little turning out and in. Now you're going to turn the bottom of the feet away from each other. Turn the bottoms of the feet towards each other. Bottoms of the feet away. Bottoms of the feet towards. Bottoms of the feet away. Bottoms of the feet towards. Bottoms of the feet away. Bottoms of your feet. So your bottom feet can like kiss each other on the bottom there. And you're going to rotate them totally away. Back so they're touching, all the way away, back so they're touching, and all the way away. Great. I'm going to spread out my feet a little bit more. You're welcome to spread out your feet a little bit. Here, you're going to just go with your right foot. It's going to open out and come back to your left foot. Open out. So this is foot, not knee and hip. Yes. And out. Good. And out. And out. And it's okay if that motion is gradually getting smaller and smaller with every exercise. Just keep working for that activation. Out. Yes. And out. And out. Good. One more. And then you hold the right foot, the left one goes out. Just that foot and ankle, 2. And 3. 4. 5. 6. You got it. 7. And 8. Nice. Go ahead and bend your knees slightly. You're going to take your right foot and bend it take it out of the band. Then you're gonna bend the knee like you're doing a figure 4 and push it into the band, keeping a little figure 4 position here. So I'm pushing my right foot into the band that's over my left. And then I'm gonna take my left foot in and back to neutral. Turn it in and back to neutral. So the legs staying still, just that ankle, and back to neutral, turning in, control the way back as well. That's half the work, as you well know. Good. In and back to neutral, in and back to neutral, in and back to neutral, and in and back to neutral. Nice job. Let's switch feet. So I'm going to slide my right foot back in the band first, then take my left foot out, cross it over and push that band away. So I get figure 4. And then I'm going to go in and back to neutral, in and back, 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 and in and back. Nice job. Let's stretch both legs straight up. You can keep just the one foot in the band for now. We're going to flex that foot, pull it down towards the floor and back up and down and lift, down and lift, down and lift and down and lift. Hold it up. We're going to switch legs, but not the band. So I'm just going to lower my left leg down and bring it back. Down, foot staying flexed for now, and bring it back. Down, stomach tight, legs extended. Get those knees strong and straight. Down and up and down and up. One more. Down and up. Let's switch feet one last time here. Sliding that foot in. Here we go. With the leg that has the band on it, it's traveling down. The other leg's reaching right up to the sky and up. Both feet flexed and up. Down and up, down and up and down, up and down and up. Hold it up. Leg without the band is going down and up. Feet flex down and up, down and up, down and up. Knees are really straight and up and down and up. Nicely done. So here, if you can slide both feet back in. If it's gotten all crumpled up, I would recommend just unwinding your band and putting it over your toes. Yep. There we go. You're going to stretch those feet back to the sky. Pull down some tension. We're going to just point up and flex down. 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 Point up and flex and point. Flex and point. Good. You're going to alternate feet. One's pointed, one's flexed, and switch, switch, 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 and switch. Nice job. Go ahead and bend your knees, and you can bring the band off, relaxing your feet all the way down. We'll just take a moment for a little hip stretch because that's always so nice to have. We're going to just let one leg stretch out, the other knee come in towards your chest. Good. So just holding that nice hip open stretch here, stretching long. I'd recommend flexing that bottom foot to get even more length, stomach really pulling in. And then we're going to go ahead and switch legs. Laying that hip, bottom hip open. Belly's pulling in to create more stretch. Great. And then you're going to relax, bring those knees in, and we can take the roller away. All right, we're going to move the roller out of the way, and we're going to actually flip over onto hands and knees. Okay, so here for a moment, I'm going to have you tuck those toes under and just sit your weight back, get a nice stretch through the feet if you can, really looking for a stretch at the bottoms of the feet and maybe the tops of the shins if you can get there. So I'm going to use my hands, push back into that. Even if I take a lot of weight, like there's very little weight on my knees, I'm just pushing into those feet, sitting back down. If that's too much, you could always put your ball there and just work your way down. So for somebody who's really tight, you could work your way down this way. Right. So spreading out those toes, even sometimes I'll reach back and really spread out the toes with my hands so that I get a nice spread, and then I can just press that weight back into my feet. Yeah. So holding there and just breathing into that stretch. Great. Great. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and come up into all fours. You're going to stretch one leg out with the toes tucked under. So I'm just going to slide it from where it was right out. And I want to flex the foot in, dig that heel long behind me. Find equal weight on both arms. And I'm going to exhale, just float my bottom knee up off the floor, heels reaching back of the foot that is back. I'm just holding that position. Nice strong position here. Great. And then I'm going to slowly lower that knee. We'll switch sides. I'm going to slide the other foot out. Stretch that heel back. Really get it so the heel is nice and flexed. Press into the floor and float the other knee up. So it should feel pretty good. I should feel really solid and strong. If my shoulders are wrapping in, I'm using this leg, this heel, to really help me gather myself over the foot, reaching back. Great. Holding. Nice long neck, elbows are pulling inward and back down. Great, we're gonna bring the knee in. We're gonna switch sides again. So you're welcome to stay with what we just did, or we can progress it. So here I'm gonna do the same. Heel back, shoulders, elbows wrapped, float the knee up. Great, and then I'm gonna stretch the leg and bend it in. I'm gonna add a little curl and a little extension. And a curl around, extending out. Rounding in, extending out, pulling in, extending out, pulling in, and reach. One more, pulling in, and reach it out. Nice job. Bring your knees in. Great. And we're going to switch sides. So slide the other foot out, heels reaching back. Really pressing through that heel. Exhale, float the leg, hold. Here we can add, stretch the leg and bring it back. And then we can start the motion of our body out, opening, rounding in. Open out, pull it in. Open out, pull it in. Open out, pulling in. Open out, pulling in, and open out and pull it in. Nice job, lowering your way back down. Great. Okay, so here we're going to go ahead and take that same position onto the toes. You're going to place your hands on the floor just as they were. We're going to go ahead and float the knees up both together now. Hips are low to start. Push back through those heels, and we're going to send our chest into our knees. Yep, so I'm sending that chest into my knees. My arms are going to reach far away, and I'm going to press forward and bend back. Forward and bending back. Pressing forward, bending in, pressing forward, bending in. Hold that position, and then let your hips rise up towards the sky. So here, taking a moment, gather your shoulders underneath you. Your chest is over your shoulders, not dropped in your armpits. I'm going to take a big breath in, and I'm going to try and sink one of my heels down. A big open stretch of the calf. If you're more flexible, this is easy for you. You can you can send your feet back a little further to get more stretch. And then we're going to switch sides. Exhale, sinking into that heel. Keep that chest pressing backward. Keep your elbows pulling inward. Then we're going to try and sink both heels at the same time. So sinking both heels down, elbows wrapped in. That's it, letting those calves stretch out behind you. Great. Big breath in, and then exhale. Great. Here, we're going to move into our plank from here. So I'm going to come up on my tippy toes, use that motion first. Then I'm going to wrap my tail underneath me, roll forward into my plank, holding there. Great. Reversing that motion from the top of my body, shoulders wrap, press up towards the sky, lifting onto my tippiest toes, and then lower my heels. Sinking back and again up, coccyx curl, roll forward, and lift, reverse, heel sink. Up on my toes, rolling forward. Lift up, heels sink down. Up on my toes, roll forward. Up, sink down. And up on my toes, roll forward. Up, sink down. Now, if you want to make that a little more challenging, we can take one leg up as we go. One leg's up, coming forward, locking in, reaching up and back. Sink that back heel. Coming up onto the toe first, forward and up and back. Leg rises up, forward, closing in and reaching up. One more, forward, closing in and reaching up. Let's switch feet. Coming onto the other foot, and here we go. Coming forward, lowering that leg, reaching up, heel sinks. Up onto your toe, forward and up, heel sinks, up and forward, reverse, heel sinks, and up, forward, reverse, heel sinks. Nice job. Both feet down. We're going to go ahead and walk our way back towards our feet. Take your spine into its neutral position. If you need to bend your knees to do that, that's fine. And you're going to bring yourself up to standing from here. Great. Okay. So here we're going to start with your squishy ball. And you want to place it on the floor. If you have trouble with balance, bringing your roller up and having it next to you is a useful tool. And here with your ball, you're going to take it and almost step on it with the arches of your feet. So I'm going to take it between my feet, almost stepping on it, so that I can feel like when I'm standing here, that it's underneath my arches as well. There you go. Okay, so here I'm going to keep squishing that ball. I'm going to lift up my toes and spread them out again. So they're nice and spread. I have pressure over the ball of my feet and across all my toes. I'm going to keep pressure inward with those heels. So take a look, make sure the heels aren't getting pushed. You're pushing the ball. And I'm going to come up on my toes. If I need to adjust a little narrower, you can do that there, but the ankles have to stay right underneath you, and down I go. Up and down. Up, spreading out those toes, and down. Good. Body stays up and forward, strong, and down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Nice spread out toes and up. Good. You're going to hold that up. You're going to squeeze the ball a little bit in and squeeze. Just tiny little squeeze with those heels in and in. Nice job. In, 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 in. Good. In, in, in. Hold it there and slowly lower back down. Great. We're going to try a little prancing from here. The ball might escape, and that's fine. You're going to come on those toes, bend one knee, really consciously lowering the heel, keeping the other one lifted. I want you to come up as tall as you can and then switch to the other side, right? So as tall as you can, keep pressure with those ankles on the ball, right? So the ankles don't escape. Up, tight ankles, and slowly down. Up, and slowly down. Up, and slowly down. Up, and slowly down. Up, and slowly down. Good. Up, and slowly down. And up, and slowly down. One more. Up, and slowly down. Nicely done. Okay, let's push that ball aside and we're gonna grab your band once again. All right, so here, I'm gonna take you into what I like to call the runner's lunge. It's a little different than how I would do it with the equipment, but it works pretty well. We're gonna take the band, open it up and place it on the floor. Step on it with your left foot. Cross the band over the front of your leg. We're gonna move into a little bit of a lunge. This front leg is bent. I'll maybe turn sideways so you can see a little better. So front leg is bent. I'm gonna just hold the band with my hands or wrap it if you don't wanna hold it. Right, and my goal here, my arms are just gonna push down. The idea of the arms is that they're gonna help me find some stability. So I really the arm motion is gonna be pressing back just like this, and then releasing, pressing back, and then releasing, right? So the leg motion, I'm gonna press back and I'm gonna come knee up towards my chest, my body weight moving forward, my chest opening. So I wanna try and open to the sky, and then I'm gonna come back down into that lunge. My arms can travel forward. So I'm gonna come pull with those arms, bring the knee up, open the chest, and backwards into that lunge. Up, open that chest, and down into that lunge. Up, open that chest, really lift that knee, and back into the lunge, right? Now, if you can do that well and you want to add on difficulty, you'll try and come up on the toes. So I'm going to come up, lift, oops, and step back down the back. Same arms, same everything. Lift at the end and take it back. Pull, lift up and take it back. And pull, lift up and step it back. One more. Pull, lift up and step it back. Nice. Let's switch sides. I'm gonna just wrap it right around my foot and find that lunge. So start with a few little arm pulls. So I'm gonna exhale, pull back, just finding that connection and slowly release. It always feels different side to side. So I like to redo those arm pulls too and slowly release. So remember, those arm pulls can really help you open your chest and slowly release. Pull open and slowly release. Great. We're going to come pulling and bring that knee up through and stretch it back and pull open and stretch it back. Pull open and reach it back. Pulling open and reach it back. If you want, let's add on that lift. Pull and lift and reverse. Pull, lift and reverse. Pull, lift, oops, and reverse. I shouldn't say oops when I mess up, right? Then you look at me. Pull and lift and reverse. One more time. Pull, lift and reverse. Nicely done. Okay, so taking a break here. We're going to just take that band, step on it with your other foot. So I'm going to step on both sides with my other foot and let it go down here. Body's going to come up super tall on this standing leg. Yep. And yeah, it can be around your foot or around your ankle, whichever way. Both work just fine. And I'm going to just hold myself up, pressing out into this band. I'm going to hold myself up, spread out those toes, and try and really grow my body up towards the sky. So you could press out a little bit, holding. Good, finding that stability. Keep the ball of the big toe down. If you need to lift the toes and spread them out, feel free. Great, holding there. Great, and then relaxing down. We're gonna switch sides. So same setup, around the footer, around the ankle, doesn't matter too much. Stepping on the band. Finding your alignment over that leg. We're gonna push into that resistance. Work on where this standing foot position is. Ball of foot is down. I've got more weight forward. If you wanna reach it up, finding that length through your body, some pressure outward. Great. Holding there. Good, keep nice and active and strong. That's it. And then relaxing down. Great. You can leave that on the floor. Last little thing, we'll grab the ball, place it up in between your inner thighs, as high up as you can get the ball. Here, you're gonna set your feet in parallel, toes spread out, open on the floor. I want you to, we're gonna do our little wrap. A lot of you know this one already. You're gonna imagine you're turning out everything, but you're not gonna go anywhere. It's gonna happen inside. You wanna start with your feet, toes up, balls of big toes down. I'm gonna start to lift those arches, spiral around. So I feel it wrapping around my legs and my spine staying in its position. I'm just gonna press on that ball as that pressure comes up to my inner thighs. So careful that your butt's not tucking forward, that you're staying in your neutral, you're getting pressure, and then release. Exhale, wrapping around. You should feel like your arches really can lift here, and then release. Exhale, wrapping, and then release. And exhale, wrapping around, and then release. And one more time, wrapping around, and then releasing back down. Great. All right, so from here, you should be able to take that ball away, stand there for a minute, go up and down on your toes, and just hopefully feeling really active through your feet and ankles all the way up your body. And so that you can walk out of your class like this. So that's it. That is my foot favorites.
Can I get a close-up of the feet, the ankles turning out without the hips turning out at the hips?
Yes, when I was upside down with my
legs.
Or
however, yeah. I can't do that.
Yes, I will show you. I think if I turn this way, you'll be able to see my feet with that. I'll lay down like this. So you can have the similar view that I have. So if I was going to turn out with my hips, can you guys see okay here?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if I was going to turn out with my hips, I would just turn out and turn parallel again. Right. So I can turn out everything and parallel. If I was going to just turn out from my feet, I leave my knees and I just go with my feet. Yeah.
That is so hard for me. Like,
it's so hard. It's very hard. It's really
my feet
the work.
Move very little.
Yes, and that's okay. I mean, that's a great place to start. It's really the work of peroneus longus and peroneus brevis that are doing that action for me. So they are just these ones that travel underneath my lateral malleolus and into my foot that can help me do that action. Whereas this is just hips and glutes, everything. There is some work here too, but it's not an isolated work like this is.
And you really feel that outside where you're talking about the peroneus that is shortening?
I feel burning all here.
Okay.
Yeah, mostly in this zone and some in here.
Can you also show you were doing palms of the feet together and out there?
Bottoms of the feet together, bottoms of the feet away, bottoms of the feet together. bottom. I can do it without the band. Maybe you'll see it
Almost
better.
like a butterfly. You're gonna go into a butterfly.
Yeah. So sickling and rotating. I can obviously
Okay.
do
Sickling.
sickling.
And you're doing it from a V where you're sickling in.
Yes. So
To
yeah,
a-
I'm turned
a
out in
flex
my
V.
knees. Yeah, that allows me a little more in parallel. I can't get the bottoms of my feet together.
Okay.
Then I go into that V.
Okay. Okay. That makes more sense. And that going out is really just flexed V.
It's flexed V, but if you notice, so my knees stay, right? So it's work of my ankles because my knees are already set here and I'm having to move my feet to match. So I get more work in here
Mhm.
now when I work that than before I was getting it down in here.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
set it and then I just have to work the feet on tops of those legs.
And the knees are set in your external rotation.
External rotation.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
Hey,
Awesome.
Zeina,
Yeah.
you know, when we would warm up and dance, you'd have your legs sticking out in front of you, and then you'd have to do ankle circles without moving your knees and your hips,
Yeah.
which is kind of the same fold that you were just doing. But maybe, Lorraine, that might be an easier place to start without the band around it. If she can't figure out, it's like stabilize and then just move the ankle around in a circle right in front and you can watch it. You know those, Anna,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those would be really useful too. I love this. What I love about this is it fits right into any sort of ab work that you want to do. You can just toss these little foot exercises in there or incorporate them if you want to work on that piece of the strengthening while they're still working their abs. So I think that's why, because these exercises you can do seated, the same exercise with the TheraBand, even in isolation. You can do them like you were saying, Lane, seated and watching your feet. But then that's all you're doing. Whereas I feel like I love them in the context of a Pilates class this way. And I was so excited about them. Like I would do them every day. I love the way my feet feel so strong and ankles feel so strong after. And granted, we are a flat-footed family and a very hypermobile family. So having that stability is a really nice thing. So maybe that's why I love it so much. But just as an incorporated, there's definitely a bunch of other ways to get them. I just love this for the incorporating right into your ab sequence.
Yeah.
So
Love it.
yeah. And then the whole reason for all that work with the feet tucked under and back is really for people who end up with tight plantar fascia, tight toe joints. So there are, though, the people, and I didn't do much of this, who really can't put their feet flat and sit on them either. So that's another interesting place to just observe your class, perhaps. And if they're people that have that issue, this just coming into this position, or even having them open here and work hips open here is a really nice way to stretch the whole shin and top of foot. So that's something I left out that you could also put in there.
In yoga, we used to be in that position and bring the knees up.
Yes, and bring the knees off the floor even.
Yeah.
That's a nice stretch. If your ankles are stable enough. Mine I can't keep my heels together and end up flopping. I can do it this way. And get a stretch through those feet and ankles. So that might be a nice option also if you wanted to use that for people, either back like you said, Lorraine, or forward like that. Yeah. So, and then I love all the like carrying the weight, the idea of pushing back into that heel, pushing weight into that heel really opens up the calf, but it also creates for me this kind of center body stability that I feel so solid here because of that length that I've created across the back line of my body is super solid when I use that length through the back line. So,
Did you want to say hi to everybody?
Kitty meow.
He says, oh, you guys are done already. I was taking a nap.
Hi, you went too
Darn.
fast today.
Missed all the action.
Oh, yeah. Let me just check. I want to just check and make sure I didn't miss any exercises that I had on the plan to share with you. Runner's lunge. Oh, the standing leg swing was the one that I didn't remember. The other things that you could add in that I was also toying with. So I've been playing a lot, and I didn't put this in because I really like it on a balance pillow more. And I know that not everybody has one, but you could do it without. But I've been working a lot on inside edge versus outside edge of foot control. And one of the things that I find really does that is having to transition from leg behind at a little bit of a diagonal to leg in. Oh, watch me go off here now. To leg in front, to leg behind.
Wow.
In a more of a diagonal direction, because then I'm working to stabilize here as my leg comes up and across. The tendencies for it to want to fall in. So I really have to work as I come across in front to pull out to the outside edge. And here I have to allow big toe to come down. So it's a really nice diagonal, which you could definitely work here. And I was trying to figure out a good way to work that with the band, but I didn't quite figure it out other than to have the band here and just swing that leg forward and swing it back, and then changing the angle of my body. So reaching back, reaching forward, reaching back. A lot easier on a solid floor, but that's something if people are having balance trouble, it's a really nice, and you think it's foot of origin. So getting them a little to outside to inside edge. And then the other one was to work on these where you can just bend into a side, front, a side, a back, or even work on a leg sweep up around in that circle. So nice and challenging on a unstable surface to have somebody work through that sequence of a leg circle or a leg tap down. So those might be things for rehab purposes or just to create more stability. So people who are doing, now you guys know I'm doing a lot of ice skating. Ice skaters is a great, people who need to have balance for their sport. Even snowboarding, for example, where there's a lot of toe heel, or skiing side side. So anybody who's doing sports that require a little more footwork, really, or and all of them do, but less so than others, right? It's people who are using diagonal lines a lot, who are having to use foot pressure to change things. So that might be a nice one as well. And then the other things that you could also work on that I was thinking about too were the side stars. I did a lot on just forward back, but using the foot as that side stars edge. So I could work on just keeping those feet stacked and working on strengthening the ankle through this position, right? Through an up and down here, perhaps through a leg lift here. Oops, as I slide away, but through a leg lift without socks on. So things like that, where I really have to work the outside edge of the ankle or inside edge of the ankle, you could really use as a push. You could use that in rotation to coming up and using a rotation to the toes and back to the feet, really strong feet, and up onto the toes and back to your strong feet. So that's another nice way to kind of incorporate a lot more foot emphasis into your regular repertoire.